I knew something was wrong the day the princess smiled at me and asked for my name. In our village, nobody looked the princess in the eyes. Not even the elders. We bowed our heads, spoke softly, and left as fast as we could. That was the rule. It was not written anywhere, but everyone knew it. My name is Amaka. I was 16 when this happened. Our village sat at the edge of a thick forest. The old people said the forest was older than the kingdom itself. They said spirits lived there, and some of them wore human skin. We were told never to go inside unless we were with hunters or herbalists. The palace stood close to that forest. Too close, if you asked me. The princess, Mma, was the king's only child. She was beautiful, everyone said. Skin like fresh palm oil, eyes like the dark part of the river. But nobody spoke of her beauty with joy. They spoke of it the way you talk about a snake you almost stepped on. There were many stories about. They said her maids never lasted more than a month. Some ran away. Some just vanished. The palace guards always said the girls had returned to their families. But in a small kingdom like ours, news travels fast. Nobody ever saw those girls again. My mother told me never to go near the palace. She sold roasted corn at the market and worked hard to keep food in the house. My father died when I was young, so it was just the two of us and my little sister. One afternoon, the palace messenger came to the market. The princess needs a new helper, he said. A quiet girl. One who can follow instructions. The women in the market went silent. Some pulled their daughters closer. Others pretended not to hear. The messenger looked around, then his eyes stopped on me. You, he said. What is your name? My mother grabbed my arm. She is too young. But the messenger only smiled. The princess would decide. That was how I ended up at the palace. The first time I saw Princess Mma, she was sitting on the floor of her room, not on a chair like I expected. She was drawing lines on the ground with white chalk. Circles. Many circles. Some were big, some were small. All of them were inside each other. She looked up at me and smiled. What is your name? She asked. Amaka, my princess, I said, bowing. She walked around me slowly, like she was studying a goat in the market. You are small, she said. But you look strong. Do you get scared easily, Amaka? I didn't know what to say. No, my princess. She clapped her hands softly. Good. I hate girls who cry. From that day, I stayed in her chambers. I cleaned her room, washed her clothes, and followed her everywhere. She rarely spoke to other people. Even the king only visited her once in a while. At night, I heard strange sounds from her room. Sometimes, it sounded like she was talking to someone. But when I peeped inside, she was alone. Other times, I heard something like heavy breathing. Not like a human. Like an animal. One night, I asked one of the older maids about it. She shook her head fast. Do your work and keep quiet. If you hear something, pretend you didn't. What about the girls who left before me? I asked. Her eyes filled with tears. They didn't leave. Before I could ask more, she hurried away. A week later, that same maid was gone. The guard said she had returned to her village. But I saw the princess the next morning, and there was something dark under her fingernails. It looked like dried blood. I told myself it was palm oil. Or red dye. Anything but blood. Then came the night everything changed. The princess called me into her room after sunset. No lamps were lit. Only the moon shone through the window. Amaka, she said softly, do you trust me? I nodded, even though my chest felt tight. Good, she said. I want to show you something. But you must not scream. She took my hand. Her palm was cold, like she had been holding ice. We walked out of the palace, past the sleeping guards, and into the forest. The path was narrow, and the trees blocked most of the moonlight. I wanted to run, but my legs refused to move. After some time, we reached a small clearing. In the middle of it was a deep hole in the ground. Around the hole were the same white circles she used to draw in her room. Bones were scattered around. Small bones. Some looked like arms. Some looked like legs. My stomach turned. The princess stepped into the biggest circle and closed her eyes. "Stay there," she told me. "And watch." At first, nothing happened. Then her body started to shake. Her back bent in a strange way. I heard a crack, like dry wood breaking. Her fingers grew longer. Her nails turned dark and sharp. Her mouth opened wider than any human mouth should. What stood in front of me was not a princess anymore. It was tall, thin, and covered in dark patches of skin. Its eyes were white, with no black part. When it breathed, it made the same heavy sound I heard at night. It looked at me and smiled. I couldn't scream. My voice was gone. The thing spoke, but the voice was still the princess's. "Now you know why the girls don't last," it said. It stepped out of the circle, but the moment it did, it began to change back. Bones cracked again. Skin shifted. In a few seconds, Princess stood there, normal as before. She walked toward the hole and kicked some dirt over the bones. "They feed me," she said. "The old spirits in the forest. They gave my family power. But every power needs a price." She looked at me. "Tonight, you were meant to be that price." My legs finally moved. I dropped to my knees and started crying. "Please, my princess. My mother needs me. My sister is still small." She stared at me for a long time. Then she sighed. "You remind me of someone," she said. "I will give you a chance. Run. If you reach the village before I finish counting to 50, you leave. If not, the spirits eat well tonight." She turned her back to me and started counting. 1, 2, 3. I didn't wait. I ran like I had never run before. Branches scratched my arms. Thorns cut my feet. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. By the time I reached the first hut of the village, I collapsed. The elders came out with lanterns. My mother was called. I told them everything. At first, some people didn't believe me. But the hunters went into the forest the next day. They found the clearing. They found the bones. The king fell sick after that. Some said it was shame. Others said the spirits were angry because the secret was out. The princess was never seen again. Some say she ran deep into the forest. Others say the spirits finally took her. Till today, no girl from our village agrees to walk in that palace. And when someone smiles at me too sweetly, I still remember her voice in the dark, counting slowly while I ran for my life.